This is something I've been grappling with myself lately. I think because, like a lot of counselors right now, our practices are just filled to the max. I'm booked out a month in advance. And I think so many of us are struggling with our purpose and what is happiness? And are we happy? Should we be happy? Are you happy? What does it mean to be happy? And I remember that I had a therapist myself many years ago that would say happiness, of course, is momentary. And we can be happy in a moment and unhappy in other moments. And then what really matters is our ability to have purpose or meaning to our life. I'm Melody Brook. I'm a licensed professional counselor, marriage and family therapist. I'm a mom, a grandmom, an actor, a filmmaker, a screenwriter. And I, like a lot of people, have struggled with depression over the last year and a half. It's not been a good year in lots of ways. There have been awesome things about this past year and a half. Amazing things for me personally. And yet there have also been just that sense of burden that has happened over the last, for me, for the last 5 years, that has gotten exponentially worse when the pandemic hit. And this, I think some of us who are more sensitive to energies might be really struggling with that right now, is how to feel happy in the midst of so much unhappiness, right? And for therapists, it's particularly difficult because we do have to listen to so much pain and so much struggle and so much grief and so much loss. And at the same time, there is a great deal of meaning that I personally find in my profession because I do make a difference, because I can shift how people are experiencing their lives and make the quality of their life better. I wouldn't say I necessarily, get all my clients to feeling happy, whatever that is, although there may be happy moments. So for you to define for yourself, I guess, what happiness is I think what we each have to figure out. What does that mean? If somebody asks you the question, are you happy? What does that mean? Well, in the last week, I've been content. I wouldn't say I've been happy because I haven't, I just didn't have moments of feeling joyfully, enthusiastic about life. I would like to say I did, but I did not, if I'm fully honest. There are moments when I do, like the times when I get to spend quality time with my daughters and with my grandchildren. That brings me a great deal of happiness. And then, of course, I feel sad and unhappy when I'm leaving them. And I get moments of happiness when I see that I've helped someone have a breakthrough, right? But day in and day out, what is it that gets you up in the morning and makes you want to continue through your day? And for me, it's just a wide array of things, right? Like, I think it's important for me to feel good and happy in general. I have to do things just to take care of myself, to show myself the love that I showed to my children as they were growing up, to show myself the care and the nurturing, because there's not anybody in my daily world that's offering that to me. So I have to figure out how to give that to myself. Sometimes that means taking the time to do a yoga class, or going, I like to, as much as I can, go on walks for about an hour every day. And those things feed me as much as being with my daughters and my grandchildren feed me. And they contribute to my overall sense of contentment with my life. And I think contentment is so much better a word than happy anyway, because like I said, happiness comes and goes. There will be times when I'm ecstatically happy, and there will be times when I'm really unhappy. But as a general rule, when I look at my life, I can't help but be really content, because my life does have meaning and satisfaction. I do feel satisfied with the quality of my life overall, even though, it's been stressful. It's been hard. And yes, there have been times when I felt depressed in a technical term. I have dealt from time to time throughout my life, gone through moments of feeling where I felt motionless, stuck, unable to really fully express my emotions, to feel like I didn't have the motivation maybe to do some of the things that I want to do with my life. Those times come and go, and I think the last year and a half, a lot of us who may not have ever experienced depression before might have been struggling with some of that and not even really fully realizing it. I was just reading someone talking about the struggle with just feeling motivated. They go to work, they come home, they play on their phone for a few hours, they go to sleep, they go up to work, they come back, they play on their phone for a while, go to sleep, and it starts all over again the next day. And that doesn't feel very energizing or motivating. And in fact, it kind of sounds like it probably is what might be referred to as a functional depression, where you're functioning to a certain degree, but you're just not finding the joy in your life that you would like to have. And part of that comes back to my whole that cycle of egocentrism, because I think when we get feeling the stress that we felt, what is stress anyway? Stress is feeling threatened in a sustained way. And when we feel threatened in a sustained way, then we sometimes can move into a depressed state where we just don't know how to go forward. So what we have to do is we have to address the things that are driving that sense of unhappiness. And how do we do that? How do you begin to do that when your life is just what it is? And lately, for the last year and a half, it's not like there's been a whole lot of opportunities to get out and meet new people, do new things, get involved in new activities. And yet, a lot of times that is what we need to feel inspired and motivated, is those friendship connections and those activities that we love to do, and finding those, and finding those ways to invigorate ourselves, to give us opportunities to have moments of happiness, right? One of the things that I do now that I'm here in Colorado is that I have been going on mountain hikes, just beautiful views of the mountains that are available here, and with a group of people that are mindful-based, growth-oriented people. So they're really awesome, connective kind of people, and having the opportunities to do that has made a big difference in terms of how I feel throughout my week. I may only do that once or twice a month, but getting the opportunity to do that adds to my overall contentment with my life, because then I can take those moments of looking at the flowers, looking at the changing colors of the trees, feeling the breeze on my face and the views of the mountains, and just really be able to take in some sense of awe. And that's, of course, what I feel when I'm with my grandchildren and with my daughters. And when we can do that, it slowly begins to sort of infect our lives with a sense of goodness. And while we may not momentarily, day by day, experience our lives as joyful and fun and happy and, exciting, but having those memories, creating those times when we can think back and remember what it was like in those moments, that can start to lift us up. So we have to take ownership of pulling ourselves out of that stuckness that our old brain gets us into, where we feel like there's no way out. We feel sort of trapped. And the only person that can do anything about that, of course, is ourselves. So we have to figure out what it is that we want to do, which is sometimes tricky, or even just sign up for things we're not sure we'd like to do, but just sign up for them because we're taking ownership of our life to move forward, to do something different, to give ourselves an opportunity to find some contentment, to find some awe, to find some moments of happiness, and give those as a gift to ourselves. Like even the walks that I go on, I will stop when I come across a garden of flowers, and I'll just be for a moment in awe of the beauty of those flowers. Or I might come upon a particularly beautiful architecture and stand and just appreciate the architecture. So finding those moments, because our life is made up of moments, And moment by moment, we may not be connected to the things that bring us joy, that bring us happiness. So we have to sort of push ourselves out into the world and find those places where we can get those moments for ourselves. And one of the things that I have recently learned is that going for walks is a great way to soothe your nervous system. So if you are feeling particularly stressed, taking a walk puts your body in that rocking motion, just like when we were a baby and our mom or our dad were rocking us. It's the same thing. So we start walking and we start giving our nervous system that rhythmic motion of rocking, and our whole nervous system starts to calm down. So part of all of this that I'm talking about is really just taking an inventory of what you're doing to add to your quality of life every day, because you're the only one that can really make that be different. And I know it's hard, because there's like this part in our brain that goes, but why doesn't somebody call and check on me? Why don't people care about what I'm feeling? Why aren't people missing me? I understand that, and I've felt a lot of that. And yet I also know that it's my job to enhance the quality of my life, because I'm the steward of my ship. I am the one who is responsible for what my life looks like. Nobody else. And that's the good news, right? Because in fact, nobody else can know what's going to bring you joy. Nobody else can know what's going to feel good to you. You're the only one who can really know that. So taking the time to check in with yourself and go to that mindful place and check in and ask inside, what is good for me? What would feel good? What would help me right now? What would pull me out of this slump that I'm in? What would help me to move to an experience of happiness for a moment? What would bring me a sense of awe? What would bring me a sense of contentment? What would be helpful for me to feel more energized right now? What would help me feel inspired right now? Ask yourself these questions. Listen to what your body needs, what your spirit needs, and start taking responsibility for making sure that you do those things for yourself. And while it may not lift you out of a depression, it may not change anything on the big scale of your life, it will give you moments. And as I said, our lives are made up of moments, and we need those moments in order to begin to change the trend of where we're going. Because if we're stuck on our couch watching Netflix, nothing's going to change. We're not going to feel inspired. Well, maybe there might be some things you watch that could be inspiring, but you probably are going to need to do something a little more active to engage your nervous system, to engage your spirit in something that can help alleviate some of that sense of despair that a lot of us have been dealing with over the last couple of years. The financial stressors, the physical threat of danger, the losses of employment, the losses of people in your life. I mean, the last year and a half, it's been rough for an awful lot of us. And so we have to understand that while our lives may have, closed in to a great degree, I mean, a lot of the things, the parties, the networking events, a lot of the activities that used to fill my life on a pretty regular basis, those aren't even happening anymore. I mean, yes, gradually, one by one, some of them are starting to come back, but I can't be dependent on those things happening. I have to find ways to create those for myself. I can't just sit there and go, well, there's nothing going on, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. I have to take ownership of, okay, what do I want to do? Maybe all I need to do is put on some of my favorite music and just dance around my place by myself. That alone can make a difference in how you feel. So my wish for you is that today, as you listen to what I'm saying, that you might just spend a few moments going mindful, connecting with your senses, getting present in your body, and ask yourself, what do I need right now? What's going to give me a sense of awe or inspire me or give me a moment of pleasure? What is going to do that for me? And go and allow yourself the gift of that piece of self-care so that you can begin that process of pulling yourself out of whatever stuck place you might be in for the moment. So I'm Melody Brooke. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm a marriage and family therapist. I am licensed in Texas and now in Colorado as well. And I have a really full practice right now. So I'm looking at some ways to help people get engaged with me other ways. So keep checking my website. There's going to be a membership program there. You can also find my book on Amazon. It's called Oh Wow, This Changes Everything. And I will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. See you then. Oh, before I check off, I want to see who's here today. Who is here? Well, no, they aren't talking. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week, Tuesday, 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. See you then.